Guys, before we go on to the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Click that like button, click that subscribe button to let me know you like solo leveling content. I like producing it, I like talking about it, so make sure you support the channel, guys, if you like solo leveling content. Thank you. Hey guys, Bruce D Anime here. Hope you're doing well. I am, because we're talking solo leveling chapter 138, talking about the man.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man!
Sung Jin-Woo. Jin-Woo's conversation with the giant monarch, and he's talking about we ended off last chapter with why these monsters are invading, right? We got that tidbit of information, that bit of world building, that all the monsters that come through the gates themselves are portals. The monsters themselves, we'll start with that, are remnants of armies that were defeated by the rulers, who are at war with the monarchs, and as we know, Jin-Woo is the shadow monarch, so all those monsters that come out are resulting casualties from those battles with the rulers, and now they're being sent in the human world. So this chapter continues on with that, and we get more world building, more reasons why they're coming out, and just exactly kind of Jin-Woo's place in all this, which is what I think we needed at this point. We needed to know where Jin-Woo fits with all this, why he has his powers, what makes him different. We don't get more on the system, but we get more on the monarch side of things, which I was curious about. So the chapter starts off 138, where he said, like I said, this is the giant, they are preparing for war. They intend to transform this world into a battlefield and fight the monarchs once again. So we find out that they're sending monsters not to weaken humanity by any stretch, quite the opposite. They're trying to strengthen humanity, and they want to make humanity and the world strong enough to handle their presence. That's wild, if I'm being honest. Like, I didn't expect that they're trying to make something tougher to just withstand their presence, withstand what it sounds like. That's the theory, right? The giant, later on, he doesn't come out and say that, but he says the rulers want the battleground to be suitable. And they continue, this Jin-Woo, sending those monsters turns Earth into a battlefield, and the giant, it's simple. It's all to inject magical energy into your world. If monsters were calamities spawned from the gate, magical energy was a blessing from the gate. Right, we know about that with the magic crystals. Like, Jin-Woo collects every hunter collects the crystals to sell and use as currency. So, humanity has benefited from these gates just as much as it perhaps has suffered from them. I say perhaps suffered from them. They have suffered from them, but, they figured out, hunters and how to get hunters in the game, clear them out, and things like that. Magical stones and magic crystals, these objects imbued with magical energy, were the greatest source of energy in the world. Right. But they were all footholds for the war, so I guess that's Jin-Woo, like, that's him figuring out that it's not just random, right? There's a purpose behind all the gates spawning, so now he's realizing all the steps, or at least all the things that were happening weren't just random. They were the rulers setting things up for Earth. So, giant, there is no better way to propagate non-existent power than using the blood of those who possess power. So the rulers decided to use their captives, right? The people who were not casualties, but they were remnants of the armies. The density of magical energy grows by the day. That is the fruit cultivated from the blood of the monsters. Magical energy empowers the world. Their plan is to create a world strong enough to withstand the effects of war. Right. So they're sending... It's not necessarily that they're making humanity stronger. I was misled on that. I was wrong. They're making just the Earth, this world, you should say, this plane of existence, strong enough to withhandle conflict with the rulers. Because we don't really get an explanation of where the monarchs fit in all that, but you'd have to imagine Jin-Woo's pretty strong. And we see later in this chapter he's strong even amongst the monarchs. That could be debatable. We'll talk about it when we get there. But I'm wondering. I guess I'm just curious. That's my point. I'm curious about the other monarchs because I want to know. I want to see them at full strength compared to Jin-Woo because he has the game system. It seems like they don't. But continuing. You mean by war? Another battle between monarchs. Yep. Soon enough, the world you live in will become hell. And honestly, that's sick artwork about Jin-Woo. If you look at it, like his eyes are kind of spread apart. Flames behind him. That's sick artwork, actually. Sick imagery. Something I just noticed, by the way, that Jin-Woo's outlined with purple. We've seen that before, but the giant monarch's outlined with like a deep red. kind of always shown with that deep red. So I wonder if monarchs can just see each other's auras. That's what they project when they see them, maybe. I'm just curious about that. There is no time. Once it is known that you and I have made contact, both the monarchs and the rulers will intervene. It's even possible that the rulers' envoys have already begun to move. Okay. You've been saying since earlier that they are targeting me. Why? You really don't know anything. He does not. He does not. The power you possess actually isn't yours. The fact that you possess it is proof that the original owner has betrayed the monarchs. You become an enemy to both the monarchs and the rulers. That reminds me of Spawn. And I made that reference earlier in one of my past reviews. It really sounds like a Spawn situation where he has powers from one side. Spawn had it from Hell. Jin-Woo has it from the Monarch. But now he's an enemy of both, which I think is kind of sick. I like that this story's taking this turn, personally. However, I swear that I will fight on your side, so will you help me? This guy's really making a plea, but I guess he's chained up, but give the guy credit for trying. We see Jin-Woo kind of not stall, but he considers it one of the sickest visuals I have ever seen in this webtoon, manhwa, whatever you would like to call it. We see the Shadow Monarchs kind of being overlaced Jin-Woo's, but you still see Jin-Woo's eye, but the Monarch's kind of shadowy helm in the eye. That's sick. If you're going to be on my side, it'd be better if I simply turned into a shadow soldier. God, that's badass. It's better just to have you as my subordinate than ally with you. He really is a monarch, Jin-Woo. And the giant is shocked not by that statement. We see he's shocked by the fact that for a moment he saw the previous Shadow Monarch, which we haven't really. I don't recall us seeing the previous Shadow Monarch's form, except maybe in the flashback where Jin-Woo was in another body. You know, he was seeing the war previously. I think that's the only time we've seen the Shadow Monarch's kind of manifestation. Both monarchs and rulers possess spiritual bodies. Spiritual bodies are destroyed when they are killed, so they cannot turn into shadows. Therefore, I cannot become your soldier. And they can't lie, remember the pact, so he is telling the truth. During all this is the truth, because they can't lie because of the pact of honesty. Is this enough for you to help me now? Jin-Woo is thinking, I get it now, but what is this uneasiness in my heart? And he's kind of slowly materializing his dagger. Like, it's like, yeah, I guess, and all the while, like, this dagger is just coming out. There's something amiss. Unchain me. And now he has his dagger fully equipped. You said you'll be on my side, of course. If you help me, I will help you too. And he cuts the chains off, right? This is fair and an absolute deal between two monarchs. I thought I saw him for a moment. Was I just imagining it? So he's still just... The giant monarch isn't even really registering that Jin-Woo might see him as a threat. He's just seeing that the Shadow Monarch was there for a second. He's still caught up on that. So not only does Jin-Woo not really know anything, this is news to all the other, not only the rulers, but the monarchs. So far, that's the impression. I think the rulers know. I'm curious to see Jin-Woo meet other monarchs, so that's what I'm really excited for after this chapter, is just to see him talk or interact with other monarchs. On that note, I wonder if the same thing happened to his dad, because we see his dad come back. Or I guess, yeah, after 10 years, he's discovered, and he beats up that S-rank hunter, and so we know his dad is powerful. And I'm wondering if his dad had the same situation where he was not possessed by a monarch, but he got a monarch's power. I think that's what happened to his dad too. So I'm curious to see. I can't wait for him to meet his dad. It's gonna be epic when he meets his dad. I'm really pumped for that, actually. So we see Jin-Woo then. Are you on humanity's side? Remember, they can't lie, and the giant doesn't answer. So, why won't you answer? And it's because of pleasure honesty. Right, and he has a crystal in his back. The mana crystal embedded in the back of your neck. As long as it's there, you also hear the ruler's voice. So, the rulers are the cause of humanity's... Right, we knew that. We knew the rulers have been sending armies to make the battlefield of Earth stronger. So I wonder if Jin-Woo can't remove the crystal, like he couldn't just take that out, and if the giant monarch or any other monster would hear that voice. I don't know if that's what the author is telling us with this. Even if he did remove it, it wouldn't change anything. But Okay, that's a little strange. I don't know. I don't think we've really explored that. I don't really remember the crystals, and if I do, I don't remember. I feel like Jin-Woo would have tried to remove it before the monster died, or maybe he doesn't. He doesn't really care. That might also be an option. And now they start fighting, and forget about the deal. And Jin-Woo's just hacking this dude up. Just so casually, like, how powerful is Jin-Woo compared to other monarchs? Is he already above all of them? Or is the giant weak because he's been chained up? So you might become a calamity, he says to the giant. No, you're wrong. The calamity isn't me, but you. So, yeah, I'm not a power scaler by nature. I'm not really into that kind of stuff, but, like, Jin-Woo's the first character, the man, who makes me want to know how powerful he is compared to other monarchs. Because we just didn't even wipe the floor with everybody up to this point, which is the appeal of the comic and everything like that, but the webtoon. But man, I want to know how powerful he is now, even more than I did before. Yeah, so he just keeping the rest of this chapter, a bit of it is just him hacking this dude up and just wailing on this guy. He is just laying it into him. As the battles between the residents of your world and the captured denizens of the Chaos World become more intense, your world will turn into a harsher battlefield. I hope that everything you wish to protect will burn into ashes in the conflagration of the war. That won't happen. Okay, Jin-Woo. I mean, he makes me believe it. That's what's awesome. Like, that's like when you read that, it doesn't make. It's not like that's a little far fetched. Jin-Woo's going to beat his match. Like, you actually believe that Jin-Woo could just take on a whole army. It feels like he has his own. You have defeated the Dungeon Master. You've defeated Monarch of the Beginning, Regia. So his name's Regia, one of the 9 monarchs. So if Jin-Woo's one, Regia's the other. He has 7 other monarchs we're going to meet, potentially. I feel like his dad's one of them. Calculating XP. Due to the large amount, first time saying this, due to the large amount of XP received, additional time may be taken. And he takes something from him because he can't take a shadow, right? That was established. He's holding like a piece of what looks like iron, but it's jagged. I'm not sure what that is actually, but I'll take that as my prize. And he levels up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. He levels up 8 times. I'm wondering what that piece of that crystal is. It a crystal? Is it like it's like a level up shard? I want to know what it is. That doesn't look familiar. Level 122. See a plane landing. I didn't know I'm expecting visitors today. National Authority, Rank Hunter, Christopher Reed. Long time no see, Deputy Director, and Lady Selner. We have an urgent matter to discuss. Could you have everyone leave us? Do not let anyone near my room until those 2 have left. Understood. So it's Selner's the one who can detect or help hunters unlock another potential reawaken, right? And she met Jin-Woo, and she was affected by it. She was almost traumatized by it. So it's interesting to see her back here. I think maybe she has started to move the process forward. What business brings you two to the distant abode of mine? If you're hear about the S-rank gate that appeared somewhere in the east, let me make myself clear. I'm not going. I'm not here to discuss that gate, Master Chris. We have a bigger problem at hand. A bigger problem than an S. This dude's wearing Crocs. He's wearing Crocs, sipping tea. A bigger problem than an S-rank gate. Mr. Chris, you may be killed in the near future. Does she see the future? And that's how the chapter... Can she see the future? Selner... Okay, now that's a hell of a cliffhanger. Like, first of all, who is this dude? Second of all, can she see the future? Does she see something when she awakens hunters or like other hunter? Like, does she see? So that's the chapter, first of all, I want to know if Jin-Woo's dad, which I believe he has to be another monarch. His dad has to be another monarch. And I want to know if Selner can see the future or like what that relates to, because like that's just like, yeah, any hunter could die in the future, or it's like a conspiracy thing, which we kind of maybe they heard plans, but you feel like there'd be a call or something, right? In a dramatic story, there'd be a call to like, hey, like you might be killed in the future. Like, did she see something in awakening another hunter, or is it a premonition about Jin-Woo? because this hunter might be powerful. It's I don't know. More questions, guys. This was a really good chapter. I like the world building, and I liked that Jin-Woo just just when we think he keeps facing more and more like higher ranked people, he's so casual about like just murdering them. And like it's interesting as a main protagonist that he's so. We see him like his heart change to darkness, but he also has these moments where he's still like sort of he has humanity in him, right? He's humane, so it's not exactly he's going full darkness, but he's so just apathetic towards everything, which I guess the giant would be a threat to humanity, so he just sees it as another monster, right, because of the crystal. But I want to know if the crystal can be removed, if he just didn't care. But I mean, that's the chapter. Great chapter this week. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Jin-Woo's dad's going to be a monarch? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Can Selner tell the future? I have all these questions and more. But thanks for checking out my this week's review, guys. Take care.